live. This is Kevin Frizz. I'm the chair of the committee. We are just waiting for a few more members to join to hopefully get quorum. So everyone just sit tight for a couple minutes. Thank you.
I'll tell you, Kevin, I was just in Bryant Park an hour or two ago,
Yeah,
and it was kind of warm.
yeah.
And so I called up the office for a link so I could go home and do this online. And I was told just then that they just made the decision to hold it virtual. So what do
Good.
you think about that?
That's perfect
Look at,
time.
look at Tony. Doesn't he look great over there? Hey, Tony, you the man.
He always looks good.
Yeah, Milan, give me a thumbs up, Milan.
One thumbs up for you.
Thank you, sir. We have any new people here? Matt, hey, Matt, nice to see you. Julia Dippo, Matt Calvo. Nice to meet you guys. I'm Mike.
You too.
I'm the guy dumb enough to go to Bryant Park today.
Was it crowded?
No, the ping pong table there were no art cart, there was no activity. Even the newspapers were locked up.
Wow.
Nothing was out because of the heat. I reached out to Biederman and I said, "What's going on?" And he gave me the word. Heat. So I was the only one there, me and a bunch of tourists. Even the restaurant was empty.
Really? Wow. Was it
Yeah,
closed or just
no.
people there?
They were inside, nobody outside. Nobody was outside at all, even though there was umbrellas and shade and stuff. Everybody, the few people that were there were inside that I saw. Look at Suzanne, doesn't she look glamorous today? Who's
Sounds
Robert Pagan? Who's Robert Pagan? Is he a presenter or is he a board member? Or a public member?
Robert's one of our new members.
Oh, hi, Robert. Nice to meet you.
Likewise.
Sounds like you are the hype man of the committee. Gathering that already.
While we're waiting for Kevin to let us get going here, we could do a little idle chatter, it doesn't hurt anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
What kind of fun facts do you have for us while we're waiting? You've always got something.
What kind of fun facts can I come up with today?
Hey, Mike, was there ever a fur industry in Manhattan?
The fur industry?
Yeah, tell us something about that.
My dad was a furrier, funny you should ask. And I spent my career, the beginning, running up to 28th Street, 27th Street, where all the fur people were, delivering and picking up coats. My dad. We're talking 1960s. No, 1950s. Late 1950s, that would be.
Did you get to save any?
Did I get to do it?
To save any? You have any nice coats?
No, my father was high into monkey coats,
Interesting.
Wow.
monkey jackets. He had, when the basement was filled up, my grandfather thought he would make a killing, and figure fashion in advance and get the jump on fashion. So somebody was closing out monkey jackets, and down in the basement by the 1960s, there must have been 60 of them packed one by one, black monkey jackets that by then were probably 20 years old. And if you pulled on the hair, came off. It was not the greatest investment, but that's fashion, right? You think you know what's happening, and then boof.
Yeah.
You got to turn the other cheek. Kevin, I'm ready whenever you You let me
Yeah,
know.
no, we have quorum. Thank you, everybody, for being so responsive. Again, I apologize for the last minute change, but we didn't hear from the law office till whenever it was right before I sent the email, and I figured it was easier on everybody just to spare you having to commute from wherever you were to the Bryant Park offices. So thank you. I'll go ahead and get started. So again, this is the Landmarks Committee of Community Board 5. My name is Kevin Frizz, and I serve as chair of the committee. We only have one item on the agenda tonight, the Brill Building. Though many of you are familiar with the format of our meetings, just to be sure, the procedures are as follows. Each applicant will give a full uninterrupted presentation, and following the presentation, we'll move to questions from members of the committee. Once the questions from the committee conclude, I will open up the floor to members of the public who have an opportunity to ask questions and make comments about the issue. At the appropriate time, those who wish to speak should use the raise hand function. Once the public comment session is over, we'll move on to business session. During business session, only members of the committee are allowed to speak to discuss the matter. Following the discussion, we'll make a motion and will be taken by a vote by the committee. The vote and the resolution put forth by the committee will be presented for a vote at the full board, and then that vote will become the official position of Community Board 5 and forwarded to LPC, any relevant agencies. The next full board meeting is scheduled for July 10th. So we encourage our applicant, they are welcome to come and speak at that meeting, but it is certainly not required. And so that takes care of housekeeping. So I will turn it over to our applicant.
That's me. Hello, thank you all for meeting with us tonight. I hope everyone's staying cool. I have put together a proposal for the Brill Building. They're interested in doing there's a new tenant going in there called the Escape Game, which is kind of like a legal escape room concept, an experience. I don't have too much info on the Escape Game itself, but I have looked it up, and it's kind of like an escape room sort of scenario. There's some existing photos. What we're proposing to do is install a marquee similar to existing marquees that are already on the facade, and it would be installed over their storefront, which is right here. I have some other photos of it as well. But essentially, it's a marquee to allow for them to display a sign that says the Escape Game. And they're also trying to get approval on a window sign. This is what it looks like now. It's pretty much been boarded up for many years. Not boarded up, but glazed over. The concept is here with some dimensions. Very generic at this point, just trying to see what the commission's take is on it. And there's also going to be a small sign right here on the return of the marquee. Sorry. There's a closer look on the next page. There we go. So around the corner on, I believe it's West 49th Street, there's this marquee. It's very small, but it's unique in that it's got these slots going down. There's no sign on the one around the corner, but at the corner itself, there's a CVS sign on each elevation. And you could see a similar sort of marquee with that ribbed look. And we're essentially proposing to match something similar to that. I'm open for any questions, but this is the general concept. Thank you.
Okay.
Did everyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you for the presentation. Questions from the committee?
Kevin, I have one. I'm having trouble finding my hand raise button though on this.
That's fine.
This
Go
one.
ahead.
Is that okay?
Go ahead, Tony.
I have a few questions for Matt. Matt, are you part of the building ownership or are you part of the Escape Game tenant?
The Escape Game tenant.
Okay. this building had a master plan set, way back when in 2010. The marquees that are on the corner on CVS and then on the main entrance on the side street, were these part of the master plan? Because when we saw it, when they came to us, it was more for the LED signage on the building.
Yes, I have plans, I believe they were from 2014, where CVS applied for the addition of those marquees with the sign on top of it. And then there was a more recent one, I believe, in like 2019, 2020 for TD Bank, but they weren't doing a marquee. They were proposing a big blade sign, if I recall.
Right. And regarding, because the two marquees that are there, the building entrance and then the CVS one, they are slightly different. The building entrance one, a little, I don't know, maybe a little more brassy is a good way to put it. It kind of matches the Art Deco nature of the building.
Right.
CVS one has that same vertical fenestration look to it. Are you planning to match the CVS marquee in size, in color, in material? Because that's the one that it's going to be directly across from.
Correct. Yeah, it's adjacent to that one. And if I zoom in here, you can kind of see that the fascia of the marquee is not as tall as the main entrance one, which is way higher. Not way higher, but significant. If this is a more ribbed look, and if I go to this one down here, you could see it's literally identical to the one at the corner. This is a good shot because you could see both elevations and the sign on top of it.
And just a couple more questions, Kevin. Regarding the decorative grille right above the marquee, whether it's brass or bronze, but just like the CVS marquee is directly below that, it's not attached to it, it's not affecting that decoration. If you can go back to your slide for your application, that will be going, yeah, right there's great. So that's not touching, it's not being affecting rather anything having to do with that grille directly above it, right? It's going directly below it?
Right, yes.
Okay. And then my last question, the signage that's going to be in the window, is that within 18 inches of the window? Is that why you're including it?
Yes.
Okay.
And also, I'm not sure about the size. I don't have exact measurements on the window itself, but I know the window sign is important to them. And it would probably be right up close to the glass.
Okay. And LED as well?
It would be illuminated, but it wouldn't flash or do anything.
Okay.
No changeable copy or no advertising of any kind, just illumination.
Okay. Thanks, Matt. All set, Kevin.
Sure.
Great. More questions? Please use the raise hand button if you can find it.
I know. Remind me where it is.
Yeah,
On the bottom.
Sorry, go ahead.
I think you're good. Karen?
Yes, I cannot
Go
find
ahead,
it.
Karen.
Okay, thanks. So along the lines of Tony's questioning, a couple deeper questions. You guys discussed the great big game show behind the glass storefront. I thought this sort of unwritten landmarks rule was as long as it's more than 18 inches away from the face of glass, it would be okay. But I think I heard the applicant say they wanted it up against the glass. Can you clarify where it is located in relationship to the glass?
It would, I mean, it's possible it could be 18 inches. I don't have an exact measurement right now. I would assume it would be within 2 to 3 inches of the glass.
Is that something we can talk about in business session? That's something we might want to comment on. And then if you can just clarify, it looks like your rendering shows some lighting, some illumination underneath the canopy. Is that correct? Just like the one we saw at CVS?
Correct, yes.
Only below. The illumination is only below?
Yes, and the sign itself is internally illuminated.
So is that both of the standing letters, the escape game and the lock logo, both are illuminated?
Correct, yes. Internally only.
Okay, I think it would be helpful if that's annotated on your drawing so it's clear what they're approving. That's kind of a helpful suggestion. So my second question goes back to the master plan. I'm not sure if you have referenced it or you have access to it now, but the master plan that was done back in the early 2010, did that show the canopies approved and the signage approved?
No, the canopies were and the signage were approved after.
Okay, so the master plan that was approved by Landmarks back in 2010 did not show marquees or signage.
As far as I know, it did not.
Yeah, okay. And then one more question. You talked about the 15-inch high marquee standing proud in front of the glass above the door clear story. But that grill, which referred to as a decorative grill, I really believe that's the air intake. That's the heating and the cooling to get
Oh, the louvers?
the louvers, right?
Yeah.
I think that's a mechanical or maybe a decorative grill, but behind that is the mechanics to heat and cool the retail space.
Correct.
So yeah, I figured that's why you're not covering it up, but you are decreasing your daylight opening and going to need structure to support this marquee through your glass storefront. So you are going to
course.
replace the storefront as well.
Yeah, we have a structural engineer who's working on calculations for all the attachments. And we wanted to get approval aesthetically before going further into the actual execution of it.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks.
Great. Thank you, Karen. More questions? I don't see anyone's hand raised, but if anyone wants to ask a question but can't find the button, just call out.
How big is the total space inside that's being leased?
That is a great question that I'm not sure of the answer to.
And then what's the frontage exactly? Because we have frontage on 49th and we have frontage on Broadway. Is that my understanding?
No, it's just frontage along Broadway.
All along Broadway. But looking at the diagram, if I'm reading it correctly, it's like a small, it's a corner building.
It is, yeah.
So there's a little, it curves, there's a little bit of the marquee that's on the 49th Street side, right?
Yes, there's a small marquee on 49th Street over the entrance, and then there's a marquee at the corner with a sign at each elevation.
So how long, what's the length of the Broadway side and what's the length of the marquee on the 49th Street side?
I don't have actual dimensions, but I know that our tenant dimension at the storefront is 294 inches.
Say it again, what is it?
294 inches
Is what?
is the tenant storefront dimension.
Okay.
It's about 24 and a half feet.
24 now. Okay. Well, that's all.
Just a helpful suggestion. If you zoom in on page 2, the left, there is a plan in the window. Sorry, page 3, existing. There is a plan. Maybe you can just tell us, is it the gray or the white space that your tenant is taking?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. I can't
okay.
read it.
Okay. I think the ground floor is on the left, the second floor is on the right, and it looks like
this one.
they're taking.
If I had to guess, it says Broadway, but there's no entrance. This is their entrance, but there's also a bank next door. Maybe that's the second floor plan and this is the first floor plan. I don't know, but
I think so. So are they taking the white or the gray?
it would be the gray because they're
Okay.
on that section of the building. This
Okay.
is the main entrance right here. and that's
So it's
right.
about half of the ground floor space.
But
If
then
that's
there-
helpful
there's
to
a
answer the
bank
question.
right adjacent. Let me see here.
Oh, it could be demised. We were looking
Yeah.
at the full floor plan and maybe they've carved out.
This is like right next door is the TD Bank over here. And this is the escape game. This is the entrance on Broadway. There's the entrance, escape game, and then there's a TD Bank like toward the end. Let's see it down there at the end.
Okay, so you're sandwiched between the lobby and TD Bank. You're not on a corner. You're not on a corner. Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
Kevin?
Yep, go ahead, Suzanne.
Sorry, I also cannot, I see the hand, but anyway, it's not happening for me. But so I just wanted to ask Matt, I know that you guys are presented this in order to sort of see how it would be approved and comments. Was there anything else that we're not seeing that you guys are considering? This has come before us, of course, in the past, and there's a lot of large digital signs that just sort of add to the chaos,
No,
the facade of this beautiful building. And so I'm just wondering, is there anything else? Are you guys taking over some of these video signs?
No,
Are you making a request?
I
Okay.
just a little background. I've been doing signs over 25 years. I started a business expediting sign permits with my brother, and I've done tons of landmark hearings, some failures, some successes. I would not try to slip something by landmarks, and not that it's unsightly to see all the signs, but I'm kind of shocked that this building is a landmark, to be honest. Even though the architecture and certainly some of the finer details are beautiful. But personally, as far as I know nothing more of this, and I know that the escape game people are eager to proceed with doing just this.
Right.
And I don't think that there's anything underhanded at play.
I by no means meant that in any way, shape, or form. I just wondered if that was something that was going to be presented maybe down the road or taking over one of the signs. I didn't say that you were doing or intended to do anything secretive.
I know, no. And I know what you mean, like, testing the waters, dipping your toes in, would you approve this? And then down the road, something grandiose. That's not the goal here. Right now, the goal is just to get them open, I think, and have some exposure on the Broadway side when it comes to exterior signs. A window sign's great, but exterior signs allow for more visibility. So I think they would really appreciate something this, and I think it's modest, in comparison to other things going on at this building.
Right.
One more-
Thanks.
One more quick question. How long is the lease for?
Me? I don't know.
Is it possible to find out how long the lease will be for?
I'm having trouble hearing this, Eugene Burstein. Could we talk a little slower, please, Eugene? There's no closed captioning here today.
Yeah. I'm asking how long would the lease be for? And what happens at the end of the lease? So let's say the lease, ends.
At the end of the lease, it lays the groundwork for the next tenant to easily refurbish the sign and have a marquee, an entrance marquee at their disposal. But I don't know about the terms of their lease. I know it's a great cost to install something like this, so I don't think that they're going anywhere anytime soon. But that's my opinion.
I think typically a lease like that would probably have would be for about 20 years, I would imagine. With maybe 5-year extensions, whatever it would be. But I just want to get an idea as to in the timeline of everything. How long would this be there before there's a next application to landmarks for another approval of a different tenant for a different signage?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have that information, but I know that they are a tenant and they do want the exposure, and they're eager to occupy the space, and I'm sure if it goes well, then they'll be there for many years.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Thanks, Eugene. More questions?
I have a question. Sorry, I also can't find the button.
No problem. Go ahead.
I'm just worrying about in terms of the use of this space. So I see the escape room and then I see Great Big Game Show. To Suzanne's point, like, are there any like filming considerations, like big production type things that we'd have to consider? Like, is there going to be filming happening that passerbys can see? I just, some more information on that.
I should do more research on what it actually is. I actually didn't know it said game show. I was so busy looking at everything else, but I can find out more information and I guess not get back to you, but maybe be ready at the landmarks portion of the hearing if there's any public who has interests about the goings on inside. If that's okay, or I could check their website. But I'm not really sure. Really big game show.
I just see the word show and I think film and production equipment and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Which I hadn't been thinking of when I first thought of escape room, so I just wanted to clarify.
No, and it says game on top, and it's game show. I'm not sure. I thought it was a like, they charge you buy tickets and you go there and it's an experience. I'll have to find out more information, but I'll certainly bring that up as soon as I speak with them.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Maybe at the full board meeting on the 10th.
Yeah.
Would that be possible?
Yeah, I mean, can I attend that remotely or do I have to go to
Remote.
Grant Park? Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, you can attend remotely. You'll just have to speak during the public session.
Okay.
There won't be an opportunity for you to speak while the board's discussing this.
Okay.
It happens right at the beginning of the meeting. It's not a big issue.
Okay, no problem. I'll be there.
Yeah, I mean, to that question, I'm on the company's website. It's just the escapegame.com if anybody else wants to go to it. I don't see where or how a game show would factor in. Oh, Milan, raised hand. Go for it.
I dropped a link to the Great Big Game Show in the chat. So you can poke around there. That's all.
Great.
Yeah, I've been looking through it. It looks like internally focused, like they're not broadcasting a television show. It's like a simulating as if you were on one.
Okay, thank you. That's helpful for me.
Mm-hmm.
Matt, I have kind of a unusual question. Are we sure this is the final version of what's going to be in the window?
No. This is just a concept right now. They want a window sign. What's your concern?
I think that might be part of the confusion. So the words on the sign that are going to be in the window won't actually say Great Big Game Show.
No, I mean,
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think what's important is like they want that huge treatment on the window. And I was just wondering, like, is there going to be a time where they're going to want people to see what they're filming? I don't know how experiential it is. So,
right.
I can look into that.
I mean, it's more of a hanging, I would imagine a hanging cabinet sign. It's probably like 3 to 5 inches deep and it hangs close to the window to allow for more space in the lobby area. But they're not confirmed. Nothing is fabricated or being shipped for any of this stuff. Right now we're in the just design phase and I'm going to bring that up to them actually when I speak to them and go over that.
And I only raise this and to the extent that let's say they want to end up ideating on like a live game show type situation, I would assume that would affect passerby and just like
right
analysis. That's all.
Right. No, it comes to me. It's just we want a window sign and we want a marquee with a sign on top.
Okay.
That's
Thanks.
what we want. Thank you. I appreciate the concern. I really do.
So just based on what Milan sent around, poking around on the website, I guess this is important to them because it's two different things. I guess it may be obvious to some already, but you have the creators of the escape game, and this is their new concept. And so that's why they want two signs. I'm not saying for or against it, but maybe that sheds some, I don't know, light or clarity. And if that's the solve, if that's the ask, I don't know if any other members have any idea of how they can do that in a cleaner way, if that's really the concern.
Oh, you think it might be like two businesses?
Well, according to the website that's in this chat, I guess you have the escape game, the people who created the escape game, and then this is their new concept called Great Big Game Show. So it's almost like a double dare for adults in some way.
Oh, okay.
So that kind of informs us to why there's dueling signs, if you will,
Right,
because
right.
I think for many of the panelists is like, why is it called escape game? But then you have this, game show, like what gives here? But
Right.
it's trying to maybe capture maybe an audience that knows what the escape game is. So get those eyeballs, and then this is the new thing
I
called
see.
Great Big Game Show. So I think that's what is at play here, and maybe there's a better way to kind of get what you want, but maybe in a cleaner, tighter way that maybe
Understood.
mitigates some of the concerns of.
Yeah. Like, what if it said the escape game featuring the Great Big Game Show or something to
Yeah,
the effect of?
or by the creators of the escape game, or
Oh, yeah, yeah.
or from the escape game crew, whatever, like something to that effect, maybe.
Right. You might remember us from such games as the escape game kind of thing,
Possibly.
or something like that. I got you. Yes, I will bring that up and be prepared for the next meeting. Robert?
Yeah, I just want to point out, it says it's a new concept from the creators of the escape game. So the escape game is kind of like the franchise, and I guess the Great Big Game Show is the newest product.
I see. Okay, so
Is that on the website, Robert?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you.
I can share it if you want to see it.
my apologies for not being prepared with the goings on, because I wasn't sure.
Let me just go right here.
All right, stop share.
There it says right there. Can everyone see it?
Oh, I see.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Oops, sorry.
A new concept.
Okay, so that actually allays my specific concerns that they were going to try and interact with the public with the filming component, because it pretty much looks all internal inside the building. So
It's okay. I think.
it allayed my initial concern. That's all.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Robert, did you have another comment? I just saw your hand raised. Okay, sorry. Okay, last questions. Peter. You're on mute, Peter.
Can't hear you, Peter.
Are we sure that signage is behind the window and not back painted onto the window?
Yeah. Well, it's just a mock-up right now, but
Okay.
they wanted it behind the window. It's going to be an illuminated sign.
So they're not trying to back paint the window out?
No.
Okay.
It's not going to be like vinyl or any adhesive to the glass. It's going to be inside, but it will illuminate.
Thanks, Peter. Okay, if no one has any other questions, I will now,
I have a question.
who is that? Michael?
Michael Kabak, yeah. I would like to ask Robert Pagan how he got that hand to raise.
Yes,
That's a good
please.
question.
You go to where it says react. At the bottom next to chat, there's a heart sign that says react.
Hey,
And then when you click on it, it gives you options.
nice going. Got it.
You're a hacker.
All right, it takes a village.
Give it a shot. There we go. All right. Thank you.
Okay. I will now open it up to members of the public. For any members of the public who wish to comment, please use the raise hand function at this time,
You can find it. It's in the bottom.
if you can find it. Okay. We have 2 members of the public present, but no raised hands. Okay, so we'll now move to business session. Just a reminder, the business session, only members of the committee are allowed to speak, unless you've been specifically called on by the chair to answer a question or make a specific comment. Anyone want to make the first comment? Eugene?
Yeah. I'm not in opposition of this. As long as it doesn't take away from the characteristics of the entire building. And this as time goes on, there's different businesses and different types of businesses that are gonna be in the space. And from time to time, the signs will change and the marquee will change. And I think that we should be more encouraging of private sector to open up different types of businesses, especially since COVID, to improve the city. And I think it wouldn't be so bad if we voted in favor of this, provided that there's no changes other than what we discussed here. I think it's okay.
Got it. Thanks, Eugene. Peter, go ahead.
Thank you. I think that something in the resolution should state a distance from the windows, minimum distance that the sign should be. Just because if it's right up against the window, that's not good. Or, I mean, the rendering is sort of ambiguous. And although we're hearing that it's not back painted, I mean, they're planning to back paint the glass. We hear not, but it looks like it is. So if the resolution said the signage had to be a minimum of X number of inches from the window, which technically should be 18, I think that would be helpful.
So is it our understanding that behind the window there's going to be like a wall, and on that wall is going to be the illuminated signage, and then that wall will be what, like 6 inches away from the glass, or is it going to be 18 inches away from the glass? Like, how do they intend to build it?
I think that's the assumption, yeah. Matt, if you're still with us, do you want to make a comment on that?
Yes, we were proposing hanging it. It's going to be a hanging window sign.
Oh.
And the only reason it would be close to the glass is so it's not an obstruction if there isn't a wall there to people within the lobby once they walk in.
And behind that hanging sign, you could see the goings on in the lobby.
If you wanted to, yeah, sure, for sure.
Great. Thanks, Matt. More thoughts?
No problem. I'll stay nearby in case anyone has anything else come up.
Great. Appreciate it.
Kevin, I can chime in, and I still don't have the raise hand thing anywhere in my options, so I apologize.
Fine.
So a couple of things. So I had this application. I went up to the building and took a look. And some of us were on the board when they came to us before for some signage next door, TD Bank. And it was at that point that we did see, because I still have the application from them. It was at that point that we did see some other applications regarding this building for the master plan, which included the marquee for CVS. The important thing when we're looking at this application is to think of how LPC is going to be viewing this. So first of all, when we're dealing with buildings in Times Square, we as a committee and as a board do typically take a bit of a step back, because Times Square is supposed to be a little wild, a little bright, flashing, all this kind of fun stuff. So we do kind of make more allowances for some of these things here. I think more importantly is that some of the things that they're proposing, the marquee, and the signage behind the glass, those have already been approved for the building. So the signage behind the glass, CVS has it to the south, and TD also has it. That was in a previous application. It came to us in 2020. So anything that's, for some of the newer members who may not be aware, anything that's going to be behind the glass within 18 inches does come under LPC purview. So that's why it's part of the application. So whether it's 4 inches away from the glass on the inside or it's 15 inches away from the glass on the inside, it's still in that same category of it needs to come before LPC and before us, of course, for the approval. So I think, assuming it's a similar layout as what's already there, illuminated signs that are relatively close to the glass, certainly within 18 inches, it is done and approved on the building already. For the marquee, it's a similar story, I think. The CVS marquee was already approved. It appears to be the same, and I think that the resolution should make it very clear, because I know Matt had indicated that it should be the same. I think that we should very clearly state that as long as it's the same profile, the same materials, the same coloring, the same height, then it is already on the building. So it's one of those things where it's already here. LPC is going to view it as we've already approved it before on the building. They're probably going to approve it again. So that's just my thoughts on how LPC is going to be looking at it, and maybe how we should start formulating. And I think I would suggest, regardless of what the signage actually says, for whether it's the window signage or the signage above the marquee, it'll still have that similar look. It'll be illuminated. The marquee will have those standing letters that are illuminated. The window sign will be illuminated and within X amount of inches from the glass. Regardless of what it says, we're not focusing on the specific content, or certainly the use of the space, as long as it fits within specific size parameters. I think that's what LPC is going to focus on. It can say whatever it wants, but if we're approving an application that says that illuminated sign hanging in the window is 3 feet by 3 feet, that's what's being approved, whatever's inside. And then something to pop up later on, that's a totally different dimension. I would see that as a bigger problem. So maybe we'll just be very specific with the resolution if we can. Thanks, Kevin.
Great. Thanks, Tony. I should also point out to the new members that Tony is one of our terrific public members, but he also used to be a full board member and was also at one point chair of the Landmarks Committee. So if you have questions about Landmarks legacy and history,
I love your faith in me, Kevin, but I was never chair. I was never chair of the committee.
Oh, you weren't? I thought you were.
No, it's always been Layla since I was here.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Wow. Maybe it was just your aura and presence that made me think that. Okay. Sorry, I digress. Karen, go ahead.
I agree with all of Tony's comments. In addition to that, maybe the resolution could mention that we wish that the master plan had addressed or included signage and marquee, because now we're sort of at default looking at what has been installed as a precedent. So it was sort of a shortcoming of their master plan if they only addressed the electronic signs. And we would like to see one going forward. So there is some continuity in all these different retail storefronts, wrapping around Broadway and 49th Street. That would just be a suggestion. Other than that, I don't have too much objection to the marquee because it is following this precedent that Landmarks already approved for CVS. And it's not covering or concealing any of the original fabric of the building. It is right next door to the lobby. So I'm don't want it to take away so much of the original facade is covered with replaced storefronts and electronic signs that, we want to be respectful and try to stay away and not deter from the beautiful entrance of the main lobby as much as we can. So, I guess I'm kind of okay with that. Yeah, those are my main comments about the master plan and I'm okay with it.
Great. Thanks, Karen. More comments? Anyone? Suzanne?
I will agree with Tony and Karen, not just because I like them, but because I agree. I mean, it is, I don't know why anyone would maybe question why this building would be landmarked if you knew the history of it, but it also was beautiful aside from its cultural importance to New York and actually to the world of music. So the area is, a visual, shocking nightmare, and our beautiful buildings like the Brill Building are being overwrought with all of this visual signage. And I know that that's still under conversation in terms of, how they impact, but digital signage and so forth is where it's at. So that's what we're seeing. And that's what this is. And there's a precedent and that's been set. And we all voted this in because we do want the space to be used. And And so while I don't love how it distracts from this beautiful entrance, it does follow the precedent that's been set. And so I can't stay on for a terribly long time, but I don't have any, I would vote in favor of this, despite everything that I've said.
Thanks, Suzanne. Other comments? Okay. Anyone, it seems like we're all kind of in agreement. Anyone disagree? No? Okay. Before I take it for a motion, just on Suzanne's point, Matt, I encourage you to go, this Wikipedia page for this building is terrific. I think it's landmarked more because of what happened on the inside of it than on its actual exterior. It was well known for its music history and music production back in the 1950s and 60s. Anyway, it's worth a read if you're a history buff. Okay, anyone want to make the motion?
Sure. Motion to approve while making sure that we're pretty specific based on what we're actually seeing here in the application.
Great.
Second.
Seconded. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and vote if I can find this sheet. Okay. Eugene.
In favor, yes.
Okay, Julia.
In favor, yes.
I am a yes. Michael Quebec.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, great. Milan.
Yes.
Robert.
Yes.
Kieran.
Yes.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. Karen, how about you?
Yes.
Okay, great. Kelly.
Yes.
Suzanne.
Yes.
Peter.
Yes.
And Tony.
Yes.
Vote is unanimous. Motion passes. Matt, thank you very much. And again, if you would like to attend the full board meeting, we would welcome any additional details you'd be willing to provide.
Absolutely.
Just you might shoot the board office an email and just confirm when the best time to speak.
Okay.
It's almost definitely going to be during the public session.
Okay.
But just
the 10th of July, right?
That's
Yes, 10th of July, correct.
Thank you.
I'll be ready. I was speaking with Marissa at the CV5 office, so I'll reach out to her tomorrow.
Great.
Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate all your comments and feedback, and I'm gonna make you proud. I'll get all the stuff we talked about. So thank you.
Thanks, Matt. I really appreciate it.
Likewise.
Okay. The only thing we have is, anyone have any new business?
No.
Michael?
Yeah, I'd just like to announce a couple of new tours that I have scheduled for July 6th. That's Sunday of the Flatiron District, 11 o'clock at the front of the Flatiron Building. That's a triangular shaped building on 23rd Street and 5th Avenue, for those of you who aren't familiar with it. And then the following day, the 7th, at 10:30 in the morning, I have a Garment District Educational History Walking Tour, on which you will learn all kinds of good stuff, like how come the New York Times got put where it is, and how George M. Cohan wrote songs about the theater district moving north. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
And double your money back if you're not satisfied, right?
Thank you very much, Kevin. I did forget that, so appreciate that.
And what time is the
Members,
one what time is the one on the 6th, Mike?
the Sunday one is at 11. We start promptly at 11, get there a minute or two early, and you can get to talk to the tour guide privately if you like.
Okay.
Very personable guy.
I guess that's it. The only thing I have is that all the committees are trying to do training sessions for all the new members. Landmarks is a little unique in that we're trying to coordinate a training session with someone from LPC proper to give us their sort of insights into what they look for and whatnot, which even as a legacy member, I would be very curious to hear what they say about that. So anyway, so our training session might not happen soon, depending on their calendar. But if any of the new members have any questions, obviously you're always feel free to email me. And if I don't know the answer, I will hunt it down and we'll figure it out together. With that, meeting is adjourned. Thank you so much, everybody. Stay cool out there.
Thank
Stay
you.
cool.
Thank you, Kevin.
Good night, guys.
Good
Hi,
night.
Drake.